Whenever I visit my mom's garden, I always discover something new. This time, I found a lemon tree with serious problems. At first glance, it looks healthy. It's full of beautiful ripe lemons. But if you look a little closer, almost every single leaf is covered with these tiny white insects. This is the citrus woolly whitefly. But before deciding on how to manage it, let's first understand what we are dealing with. Despite their name, whiteflies aren't actually true flies. And here's a fun fact. They are a part of the same group of sap-sucking insects as aphids, mealybugs, and scale insects. The adult whitefly are tiny insects with wings covered in a fine white wax. When disturbed, they quickly flutter away from the leaves. The adults lay their eggs on the underside of citrus leaves. When the eggs hatch, they develop into tiny nymphs. Unlike the adults, the nymphs stay attached to the leaf for most of their lives, feeding continuously on the plant's sap. The white cotton-like material you see isn't part of the plant. It's wax produced by the whiteflies themselves. This wax helps protect them from drying out, harsh weather, and even makes it more difficult for predators and sprays to reach their bodies. Citrus woolly whitefly is an invasive pest in many parts of the world. In some areas, the natural enemies that normally help keep these insects under control may not be present in large enough numbers. When that happens, populations can build up very quickly, just like what we see on this tree. As the whiteflies feed, they remove sap from the leaves. Over time, heavy infestations weaken the tree, reduces its vigor, and can affect future growth and productivity. There's also something I want you to notice. Ants. They are everywhere. At first, you might think they are attacking the whiteflies, but they are not. The whiteflies produce a sugary liquid called honeydew. The ants feed on this honeydew. In return, they protect the whiteflies from predators and tiny parasitoid wasps. It's one of nature's most fascinating partnerships. The honeydew creates another problem. It becomes the perfect surface for a black fungus called sooty mold to grow. This fungus doesn't infect the tree itself. However, it coats the leaves with a black layer that blocks sunlight and reduces the plant's ability to photosynthesize effectively. Before reaching for any spray, it's worth remembering something important. Nature already has its own pest control team. Tiny parasitoid wasps, such as Caelis noachi, search for citrus woolly whitefly nymphs. They lay their eggs in or beneath the whitefly. As the young wasp develops, the whitefly dies, and eventually a new adult wasp emerges to continue the cycle. Ladybird beetles, lacewings, and other beneficial insects also help keep whitefly population under control. The challenge is that most home gardeners do not have access to commercially reared parasitoid wasp. Instead, our goal should be to protect and encourage the beneficial insects that are already living in our gardens. The big question is, how do you know when it's time to step in? The answer is very simple. Not as soon as you see one whitefly. A healthy garden will always have some pests. The real question is whether nature is still keeping them under control. If you regularly see beneficial insects and the infestation isn't getting worse, sometimes the best decision is to simply keep monitoring. But this tree is different. The infestation is so severe that the natural enemies are clearly no longer keeping up. This is where intervention becomes necessary. Before you spray any tree, the first thing to do is to harvest all ripe lemons. There is no reason to spray fruit that's already ready to be picked. By harvesting fast, we can enjoy the ripe fruit now and then focus on protecting the next flash of leaves and the future crop. Remember to always follow the product label, including any pre-harvest interval before harvesting fruit after a treatment. Once we had harvested the ripe lemons, it was time to help the tree recover. One of my preferred biological options is neem oil. Its main active ingredient is called azidirachitin. Unlike insecticides that kill insects immediately on contact, azidirachitin works more gradually. It interferes with feeding, growth, and development. Over time, the whitefly population begins to decline. Because citrus woolly whiteflies spend most of their lives on the underside of leaves, it's important to spray both the upper and the lower surfaces thoroughly. Good coverage is just as important as choosing the right product. I also prefer spraying in the evening. This reduces evaporation, allows the spray to remain on the leaves longer, and also helps reduce exposure to many beneficial insects that are active during the day. Biological gardening isn't about killing every insect you see. It's about restoring balance. Sometimes nature can solve the problem on its own. Sometimes it needs a little help. Our job as gardeners is to observe carefully, understand what's happening, and only intervene when it's truly necessary. Because the healthiest gardens aren't the ones with no insects. They are the ones where nature is allowed to do as much of the work as possible. We shall continue to monitor this tree and continue to intervene whenever necessary with biological methods. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might be interested in this kind of content. In the next video, we tackle yet another pest the organic way. I will see you there. Subscribe if you haven't. For now, happy gardening.